Hi everybody, my name is Rin Longmaid. I'm a restaurant broker and consultant at Santa Rosa Business and Commercial in Sonoma County, California, and I'm the founder and host of this series, Deep Dish Live, where we explore the business of restaurants for restaurateurs, restaurant buyers and sellers, and the restaurant curious. Welcome to episode 22, where I'll be discussing the upside to SBA 7A loans for restaurant buyers. If any of you have followed my series, and I'm surprised Ed didn't go, what? Because I haven't been shy about my frustration with SBA lending, but I'll get to that. Deep Dish streams once monthly, and we always stream from one of your beloved San Francisco Bay Area restaurants. Today we're at Zimi Pizza on Mission in Santa Rosa. We're at Mission and Highway 12. Zimi Pizza is for sale for $65,000. It's a super compact restaurant with a Type 2 hood inside. We just actually did a Facebook Live stream right before this episode, so hop off this and jump on there if you want to know more details. Here's the beautiful food of Zimi Pizza. Quickly, the $65,000 does not include the name Zimi Pizza. Zimi is a very popular and well-loved brand owned by Dino and Sarah. They're Inside Cooking. They're in the block down in Petaluma, and they have a Greek food truck, and they're looking to do a next big thing, and they have to let this unit go. So if you're interested, contact me in any variation of my channels. Texting is always the best. Okay, so today we're discussing the upside of an SBA 7A loan. Now, the thing about SBA lending for a business, they're loaning on personal property, not real property. Even if the seller owns the real property, there are two loans, right? The buyer will purchase a 7A personal property loan and a 504 real property loan. And because of this, the underwriting process is it's a very thorough process for both the business and the seller. So when I streamed episode 17, when Ed and I were down at Wild Goat Bistro, I just finished one SBA 7A loan that had some of the craziest stuff had happened. And then I was in the middle of another 7A loan where a lot was being required. So I was not happy about 7A lending. I was talking about all the other ways to avoid 7A lending. But I'll tell you, both of those loans did fund. I went through two different local banks. I always go with a local bank or a local credit union because those banks really are committed to the local economy, and they will work diligently with me on these small loans to help them work. But anyway, both of those two involve things that will never happen again, so you did not get me at my best. And I'm here to tell you, I've been recently thinking about the 7A, and I was talking to a very young, in her 20s, potential buyer about a 7A, and it dawned on me that these 7A loans are actually really quite miraculous. Yes, Ed, I said miraculous. And miraculous in that restaurants, cafes, bars, they're risky businesses. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. Everybody knows they're risky, because it's a crapshoot whether or not a restaurant is going to be successful. So this particular buyer, she has lots of restaurant management experience and lots of barista experience. She doesn't have a lot of money, and she would actually be a great person. She would qualify for an SBA 7A loan if she were matched with the right cafe that was for sale. And by saying that is, she needs to be matched with a successful cafe. So if she's on BizBuySell or BizBin or BizQuest or my website looking to buy a cafe, but a new buyer's tendency, if they don't have a lot of money, would be to look at the listings that are really affordable, really inexpensive. Those listings are not being sold based on their cash flow. Zimi is not selling on its cash flow. If you buy Zimi, you're buying the business assets. So buyers would probably not look at businesses that are selling for $150,000, $200,000, $250,000. When in fact, somebody like this buyer who I'm referring to, because this is how 7A loans work. The absolute perfect scenario for a lender on a 7A loan, a business that is listed properly, meaning the sales price has been determined based on its cash flow, and a qualified business broker such as myself would be able to do that for you. Or honestly, any of the agents in my office, Santa Rosa Business and Commercial. Hi guys, I always give a shout out for you too. We would be able to do that. As a matter of fact, we rarely take a listing that isn't properly priced. So that it has strong cash flow and it's been properly priced. And then that's the one. And then the other one is a buyer who has experience. And notice I don't say a buyer who has a lot of money or a buyer who has a house. The buyer can't have a lot of debt because the SBA will check. They need to be assured that the buyer doesn't have so much debt that they're not going to be able to service the loan.
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth pairing.
But one thing that's super cool about an SBA loan, and what buyers don't think about, so let's say this buyer who doesn't have a lot of money is going to buy one of these inexpensive businesses, they still have to pay for the health department site review. They have to pay for most part the inventory. They have to pay for the escrow closing costs. They've got to pay for the security deposit. So if somebody's already strapped for cash and they're looking at these inexpensive listings, there's still a lot of other costs involved. Where the 7A loan, if you actually buy a business that's successful, they are going to fold in many of these costs into the loan. Not only will they fold in some of these other expenses, they'll also provide the buyer with working capital because they want to ensure that the buyer is going to be successful in those first months of the transition. There was one more thing I wanted to say. I can't remember. So this episode has been super short. I'm sort of, it's sort of a disclaimer to 17 where I'm like, 7A loans, get your money anywhere else you can. When in fact, and it doesn't have to be for a first time operator. The only reason I'm saying that they're perfect for their first time operator is to highlight, because first time, people who have owned a business or a restaurant and are going to buy another one, they kind of know what I'm telling you now. The reason that I'm highlighting for a first-time operator is a first-time operator, like when I bought my restaurant, I didn't go with this is what I wanted to say. I didn't go with a loan, a 7A loan, because I wasn't looking to purchase an already existing successful concept, which is what you're buying when you have a 7A loan. That's the downside. So let's say this buyer that I'm referring to, let's say she wanted to execute on her own name, her own menu, something totally different than what's out there. That would not, a 7A loan would not be for her, because the whole purpose of the banking institution to fund on the purchase of the business is the success of the brand, the menu, the staff that's there. That all of that gets transferred to the buyer. So it's not for, and most of my buyers want to execute on their own concept. They've been working in the industry a long time. Their wheels have been turning. This is how I would do it. This is how I wouldn't do it. Okay, so I didn't say this, but every time that Deep Dish streams, we offer a $100 gift card from our host restaurant. Today, our host restaurant is Zimi Cafe. If you win this gift card, you can use this at this location until it sells. You can use it at their location in the block in Petaluma. You can use it at their food truck. So if you want a chance to win, like and make a comment on this post now that we're live, anytime between now and when we meet again to do the 23rd episode. You can also like or comment on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you see it, we will find you. And now I'd like to introduce the winner of the gift card for Sonoma Pizza Company, where Ed and I streamed last month. The winner is Tracy Matson, and she posted a comment on Facebook. Tracy, I'll reach out to you directly, and I'll get this to you. Well, that concludes episode 22. Ed and I will see you in a month when we live stream from, we don't know yet. Until then, have a great Thanksgiving holiday.